5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to HyzerCast Episode 5. I'm Dave Oster, here again with Joanna Latini and Lou Garcia. How's it going, guys?
Great.
Good. Awesome. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the recent statistics that came out on UDisc. Some about the growth of the sport. We all know so many more people came into the sport. Well, now we have the numbers for them. Thank you to UDisc, hashtag not sponsored. So we'll get right into it. So last year in 2021, there were 5.28 on average courses built per day in the world, which is just an absurd number.
By who? By who?
Everybody.
Oh, I was going to say.
Not you.
No.
You built a few of them, but...
I don't know if I could build one in a day, let alone five.
Wow.
Well,
5.28 a day.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
All the people, the growth of the sport all over, especially the United States, but all over the world, it's just, an average between everybody, and I think it's an absolutely incredible number. It's a 50% increase from the year before, which is 3.5 courses a day, and I think it just goes to show, with all of these statistics, how much the sport has grown. I mean, I'll just rattle off a couple more of these. There's now 13,000 plus courses in the world. 71% of all the courses in existence today were built within the last decade, even though the sport has been around for 30, 40 plus years. One of the best things about them is that 90% of the courses are free to play, distinguishing it very much from regular ball golf that is often compared to disc golf. What do you guys think about that being free to play? How does that affect newer disc golfers getting into the sport, continuing to play, the ease of access to the sport?
It's definitely inclusive at that point where it's free, it's in the park systems, where it's at the local high school or college. It's accessible. So for growth, when we have all the new players, and now we have all the new courses to boot, it's really good. If this was a decade ago and we didn't have the courses and the influx hit us then, it would have been chaos on the courses. Courses are busy now, all-time highs probably everywhere, but imagine if that growth rate of volunteers and people taking the time to install those courses, we would really be overflooded. So it's all working out, I guess, how it should be on a steady incline. More people working, more courses going in, more people
supply
playing.
and demand,
it's starting
really.
to balance itself out, or it's growing together, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you said accessibility, and I think that's number one. For new people coming into the sport, it's great that it's free. There's no gatekeeping there. And also, you only need one disc to start. Or a starter pack is 3 discs, and it's not expensive. And look, if you know somebody, I guarantee you that they would probably gift you with those discs. I mean, a lot of us have so many discs that if a new person really wanted to start playing, I would instantly put something in their hands. And there you go. All it takes is one disc, I think, to fall in love with the sport, and one time out with people who are already in love with the sport to really fall into it fully. So it's amazing that we can have these free courses.
Sure.
And we have seen some private courses too. And I think that comes with a lot of benefits as well. I mean, a maintenance staff, because I think that's one of the hardest things to do with volunteers is to keep them motivated and fulfilled in maintaining a course. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. And, with more foot traffic comes more to maintain and more complaints, unfortunately. That's just the way it kind of happens, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, having properties and courses where players can go and they know that there's investments being made on that property, whether it be improvements or amenities. Yeah, that's a good thing for the avid player. I personally wish there was a little bit more private stuff in our area because the courses are steadily getting busier, and I think it shows that maybe the type of player wants to have a little more exclusive experience, because as inclusive as the sport is, undoubtedly and unarguably, the inclusive stuff, the pay to play, could only be better and more feeling of professionalism, and that's what I'm looking for when I go play disc golf. I want to go to a property that is well set up and has enough people playing. You don't want to be alone completely, but
Yeah.
you don't want to have a group of 10 in front of you and a group of 10 behind you.
Right.
It could be for a long day. So private courses, I think, can absorb the more serious player, the more avid player. And I'd like to see more of that by our area because I think it would suit some of our players better. The practicing, of course, is getting way tougher with how much traffic's out there.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think a good balance between the public and the private. And it's actually great that you guys both brought up topics that we have some numbers on. So we're talking about 55% of the courses are in public parks. So some of the other ones aren't necessarily private. There's much lower amount of private courses, but they're in public parks. And there's a breakdown even of that. 385 in the world are on other existing golf courses. 78 are at breweries or wineries, which I think is a very interesting number. 1,254 at schools or universities. Almost 300 are at ski areas. And there are currently 79 countries with disc golf courses somewhere in the country. So just reinforce your guys' point of where all of these courses are, the breakdowns. There's a lot of public courses. The growth, it grows with the number of players, but also needs to grow with the number of courses. And it shows. They're popping up everywhere. They're being combined with other things that people are already doing and already love.
Yeah. I did not know the ski, what did you say?
Yeah, almost
slope?
300 in ski areas, or associated with ski areas.
So I've been thinking a lot about disc golf day. Like, what do you do if you go out and play for a whole day? You go, you bring snacks, you maybe pack a lunch, you maybe go grab something, you play a second round, you maybe grab dinner, or you go home and eat dinner. Obviously, it's up to you. And I was just thinking, gosh, I would love a course to exist where you go, and there's a clubhouse, and in the clubhouse, you have coverage out on the TVs, you can grab lunch, you can maybe grab a beer or a glass of wine, like you said, they're on wineries. And it made me think of, pro shop. It made me think of the ski slopes. Like, where's the ski lodge? Like, oh my gosh, what if we had a place that could be kind of seasonal? And like at one part of the year, it's for the skiers, and another part of the year, it's for the disc golfers. Yep. Does that exist? Like, that would be kind of amazing.
Not enough. I've seen it to an unsatisfied point. Like, if you've seen it, you'd be like, almost. Yeah. But does it not fully exist? I think it does out there somewhere, and I'm jealous if I ever find this place because I'd probably have to move there. Like,
it'd be cool to start with a split like that, but I mean, ultimately, I would want just a disc golf clubhouse.
I know what you mean. Just being able to set in with your dining experience, your hanging out before your round, after your round, and it's just disc golf. It's not golf shared with a golf course. It's not. It could be its own thing. Yeah. It would really be starting to show once we start to have those in place. It's like Monopoly. You play, you get the houses on there first, and then you move up to the hotels.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there where we will have our disc golf clubhouses more regularly. The pay to plays. I think what you're gonna see maybe first could be a good transition. Maybe golf wants to pick up on this a little bit more and see that they have all this land, and then there's this outside unused land. They might be able to, use their property in ways that they haven't before. And then maybe they could start creating their own sections for golf. Maybe it takes off. I don't know. Maybe it just takes off on its own. Maybe it doesn't have to piggyback off of golf at all. But I think it will come. Eventually, we will see our disc golf clubhouse one day.
Yeah, I think what you said in both golf courses or ski areas, I think right now it's kind of like the disc golf community is the ones pushing to get a course there. And the existing company or whatever is just allowing it to happen. Especially a ski slope, nothing goes on when there's no snow there. Usually, some I've seen at like water parks, but there's a lot of land. So like, sure, throw some baskets and cement blocks. It's all going to be covered when the snow comes. We don't care. But I think it is a good intro into getting these multi-use kind of facilities.
I think,
like you were saying.
I think disc golf is going to transition from where it was as this fun volunteer thing. Well, now our professionals are actually making money. I think the sport is just going to catch up in an entirety, and that's why it's going to provide these amenities and these establishments for us, because it's time for it. If you have players making millions of dollars, well, where are their clubhouses? Where are their stadiums? And where are their podiums to receive their awards? I thought the Europeans did it phenomenal. Have you looked at their podiums and their coverage and stuff like that? Like, how do you not see that, like, as a sport
Yeah.
where it should have its own, place of
Right.
business like a clubhouse.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that has anything to do with the United States having so many more hugely popular sports, whereas over in Europe, Finland, these other European countries, they have other sports, but they don't have the NFL, the MLB, the NBA, the NHL, MLS, already such a saturated sports community that disc golf, sure, it's getting bigger, but in other places where these bigger sports aren't present, disc golf is taking that spot, because whether you're in the United States or in Europe, the community has a want for these types of sports. So disc golf could be taking that more quickly there.
I don't know, because I don't think that everyone loves every sport.
Right.
So like your sports bandwidth, let's say, is not already at 100.
Mhm.
And what disc golf offers, I think, that's different to other sports, I mean, other than golf,
Right.
okay, is that it's basically a beautiful nature walk while you throw something.
Yeah.
While you make very interesting shapes, and they're so technical and exciting to watch and learn and do. But really, it's getting out in nature and seeing things that you don't get to see every day. And you don't get to see watching TV or sitting in an arena or other thing. I don't know. It seems more grand to me and also more simple at the same time.
It'll feel like it's making it once it has that. Once that place is in. Once that, for example, the clubhouse would be there, you would really feel like this is not going anywhere. This is heading in the direction. This is where it should be.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
would-
I think
Because of how in love we are with it, I only feel
Sure.
more strongly about it. But anybody looking at it from the outside, just looking at the growth of it, like I said, we're looking at players that are making millions of dollars now, and we're using golf courses that never had disc golf courses on them before. Eventually, they'll pick up on that.
yeah.
We're creating pro tours, and we have all these stops that are regular. So eventually, these stops are going to start to then, I think, house or facilitate these potential clubhouses, and we'll see. I think just a little bit of time, it's coming.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And to shift to more some of these statistics you actually brought up before about bringing new players into the sport.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have statistics on that.
Of course they
I'm not
do.
sure how they got these statistics, maybe surveys, but kudos to UDisc. 90% of players who were in the sport introduced at least one new player to the sport. 51% introduced 1 to 3
In 2021?
in 2021.
Is this like the disc golf transmission rate?
Something like
Okay.
that.
Too soon.
24% introduced 4 to 6 players, 5% introduced 7 to 9 players, and 10% of disc golfers introduced 10 or more people to disc golf in 2021,
Wow.
which I think is incredible. It's great, and just yet another example of the growth of our sport and why it's growing. Word of mouth. It's, there's so much that the PDGA, the Pro Tour, local tournaments can do to grow the sport, but it's very apparent that the large majority of new players are coming in because of current players.
Sure.
That's an interesting stat. I wonder if when they have those numbers, if they mean, and maybe it says it in the fine print there, I can't read it, or I'm not looking to read it, but
Gotcha.
if exposure to the sport meant bringing them to a course to play, or if it meant just telling them what it is and showing them what it is. Because if I was thinking about my own sphere and saying, okay, who did I bring to play? I know my mom played with me one day. She threw my little beat up leopard for a while. It was very fun. But my parents came and watched me and play a tournament. Or on social media, so many people, in the opera world, because I'm an opera singer, they have no idea what disc golf is, and now they see all this content on my page and they're like, you're the disc golf girl, and like I know what that is now because of you. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, that reach, I probably introduced 100 people to
Right.
what it is, because they're like, why is she leaning against a basket?
Yeah.
Or what is this thing she's holding?
You're the 1%er.
Yeah.
Like, but seriously, because you never know your full reach.
Right.
Right? Like, you could bring one person to a course, but who does that one person tell about their experience?
Exactly.
And then, but that is growth. That's what growth is.
You talk about these 5 courses per day average that we're in path with right now.
Mhm.
how many people buy a course a day is that impacting? I've heard countless times, oh, I started playing disc golf at this course. Yeah, it was built last year and it was in a park, and then I started playing. It happens. You never know. So yeah, it's a cool statistic to see how we affect each other and how we're affecting our growth. We've talked on previous topics how just, the current state of affairs can affect the growth of disc golf. And I've said it before, and I'll say the same opinion again. Disc golf is a sticky sport to get into. I'm currently trying to sell almost 300 discs. I just want them out of my garage finally. I'm just like, I'm done with it. It's like, it's a sticky sport. It's like, yeah, it's not an expensive sport. Yeah, the disc is $10. Yeah, well, when you buy 500 of them, it's expensive all of a sudden. But yes, this sport is heading in great directions. Our imaginations are really carving the way with this sport. So the future is limitless. If we're looking for a clubhouse, if we're looking for pay to play, I think all these things are going to shape the game further, grow it more professional, legitimize the game, things we've talked about before. So
Absolutely.
Yep.
good topic.
And one last thing, I want to play a little quiz game with the two of you. So
Boy.
the last
Bring it
little
on.
category is player enthusiasm. They broke it down into 4
100%.
categories. So
Joanna
let me
Latini.
just be
Joanna Latini?
to be clear. What they're using to measure player enthusiasm is how often you play. And before I
Okay.
tell you what the categories are, I'm going to let you guess or answer what category you're in. And we'll see if you get it right in terms of number of
Times
rounds
you
you
play?
play in a week
A week
year.
or a month? A year?
Joanna first.
All right, so basically the 4 categories are a casual disc golfer,
Okay.
a regular disc golfer, a dedicated disc golfer, or a hardcore disc golfer. And these are broken down in number of rounds played per year. So I'll let you guys guess what you think
I don't
you
even
are.
know how many rounds I played
Well,
last year.
don't think about the numbers yet. Just
Oh.
think with those terms, what do you think you are? And then we'll see if you're in the ballpark. Because they're pretty broad. You'll probably be
So
able to know.
are you telling me you looked up my stats of what I played last year?
No, I'm hoping you know within a few because they're pretty broad
I do
categories.
know how many rounds I played on UDisc, and I know
I could
what
look
I
it
played
up.
on UDisc aren't even my tournament rounds
Oh, yeah.
or my practice
That's
rounds.
true.
So
I have a
They're-
ballpark of mine. I don't know exactly
Okay.
how many.
all right,
I have no guesses.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Well, you have to put yourself in a category. Which one do you think you are, and then we'll reveal what they are. So casual, regular, dedicated, or hardcore.
I'm gonna go with dedicated.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I was going to go with, too.
I'm going with dedicated.
Both dedicated?
Because I know that some people literally play every single day, and I just know that I don't. So there's always going to be someone who's out there at least 1 or 2 more days than me a week. So that's why I landed on dedicated.
Yes. All right. So before we reveal how many rounds you've actually played, I'll break it down for you.
In my heart, I'm hardcore. Okay.
So casual disc golfers are 24% of the population. They play only a handful of rounds per year.
Oh, no,
So they
that's
play,
not us.
Right. Of course, that's not any of us.
How do you have a handful of a round? What does that look like?
A handful?
5 spread out over 12 months? I don't know, something like that.
Oh my gosh, how do they know?
So a
Wow.
regular disc golfer is 27% of the population, plays about once per month, and tops out to around 20 rounds per year.
Oh, no.
Oh,
So I think we're all above that. Now we're getting into the
Now I
nitty-gritty.
think I'm hardcore.
Well, dedicated is
Oh my God.
35% of the population and plays roughly once per week. Which
I
will
play
bring up
more
to
than once a week.
Around 50, 52.
Oh,
right.
no. I play way more than that.
All right, so I guess you're kind of above that. And then, so I guess that's the answer. We're all in
Hardcore.
hardcore mode.
Is upwards of 100 rounds a year.
That's
Oh, yeah.
hardcore, huh?
Yes. All right. So
That is?
well, that's the top. You're
Really?
going off of what
UDisc,
the most average
can
numbers
we,
are.
Can we change that? I think
Let's put it in perspective. Most people don't start disc golf podcasts. We may be outliers. I'm
Okay.
just throwing that
on
out
some
there.
topics.
Well, I
On
will
some
say,
topics
though,
and
let's say you
categories, I
play
understand.
once a week.
Okay.
Let's say you play once a week and you meet up with friends.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to travel, I said this immediately from when I started playing. When I first started playing, I was playing with guys who lived in Manhattan, and I would go up to FDR State Park, which is above Manhattan. It was a long drive for me. And so I said, okay, if I'm going to go, I'm spending a whole day. And what does that equate to?
2 rounds.
2 rounds. So if I did that once a week and met up with my friends, that's already over 100 rounds a
Yeah.
year. Not saying I didn't go out and putt or played a random round at my home course for fun. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I feel like 100 rounds doesn't seem that crazy if you think about it as 1 day a week and you're out playing. Or you go to a 9-hole course and you play 2 rounds there. That's still 2 rounds. But it doesn't take that long.
Well, according to the percentages, only 14% that are
Wow.
at that rate and above. But I think at any rate, the number of disc golfers and playing regularly, I think that's the point to take here. That these many disc golfers are playing regularly. They don't play once and they don't like it. Like Lou said, this is a very sticky sport. Once you start playing, you want to keep playing. And then just the last statistic that I want to bring up, I think it's amazing. The number 1 most UDisc scored rounds in 2021, someone played 1,355 rounds in 1 year, which roughly, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, is about 5 to 6 rounds a day. No.
It's about 4 to 5 rounds a day.
Okay, I said 5 to 6. I'm not that far.
A little bit. Over every one counts for
Wow.
another
Yeah,
365.
okay, you're right.
So-
All right, but
so
you know what I'm
we're-
saying.
yeah.
That's a lot. 4, even if you played 3 rounds every single day, that's a
Huh?
lot. I'm not sure how anybody did that. Maybe there were 9-hole courses, a mix.
I'm telling you, next year, UDisc, check my stats. I'm getting about 10,000 aces.
You
You're
heard
going
it
to
here
be the outlier.
first.
Yeah.
Who's setting new records?
So, where did you... I think we all are over 100 rounds a year, just to go back on that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
I was somewhere 150, 160, something like that.
Yep.
I don't know. I really want to look.
I think I was around the 170-something mark.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I think my first goal with UDisc was how quickly I could get to minus 500 in all my rounds. I think it took
Okay.
me like 60 rounds to get to minus 500 or something, like 62 rounds. But UDisc is fun with that. You know, they take all these stats, they ball it together, and they're giving you good information. Our personal stats that we get from them every year is really cool. And then when they once again break down the course breakdowns locally to you, you could check.
Yeah.
It's really cool how the stats come into, you know, the shaping the growth of the sport. You could see it kind of happening.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm on my UDisc right now. I don't
Oh,
mean to be
boy.
rude. Mine says that I have 167 rounds total on my UDisc. I don't know how to find it
Gotcha.
per year.
So you go to profile.
Oh, 20. Oh, wait, there we go.
Please hold.
Time out. Trying to click it. There we go. 2021. 93.
93 rounds played. But that doesn't count any tournaments, really. So, wow.
And 100 wasn't the cutoff.
Sure.
You know, it's about,
Plus.
you know, it was about a round a week. So you're there. You're
Wow.
there. We're all hardcore disc golfers.
That's so cool.
And Lou, you said you're looking to see how fast you get to minus 500.
That-
I try to see
that
how
was
fast
last
I
year,
can get
yep.
to plus 500. Anyway, we're running out a little bit of time, so I want to move on to another topic real quick.
Sure.
Short topic. Let's just go over what our favorite courses are,
Ooh.
and maybe just a
Short topic.
quick little bit about why we like these courses. A little bit about the design.
I could do this really quick.
Okay. I don't believe you.
Okay, we're
Let's see.
going to give it a shot. Let's see. So my favorite course is property in New York. It's called Hyzer Creek, and it's a private course. Not much to play there on a given day. I think it's like $5. It's an honor system. The property there is pretty amazing. Something that I look for is the shot selection in terms of straight, left, right, and where does that equate to them finishing towards the target? Where's the elevation? Up, down, what's in between myself and the basket? How much OB? Hyzer Creek has it all. It has its woods, it has its open, it has its creeks and water elements everywhere. And the topography that's there is something that you can't always purchase if you're looking to develop land into a disc golf course. So I recognize it's a very unique property, and I've always enjoyed how different each hole is up there. So if you ever get a chance, Hyzer Creek in New York, it's my #1 favorite course.
You have to check it out.
Yep.
I've
Wow.
never been there. Have you been there?
No, I've not.
I believe you can find coverage of it. There's stuff that's been filmed. It's not far for us. A couple hours drive. And
Cool.
there's other stuff up there. Very, very nice. And it's that type of course. Yeah, you're gonna want to play 2-3 rounds in a day because you're just.
Yeah.
I can't really put it any better than that. When you have enough of what you're looking for in terms of shot selection, shot shape, it's there. It's all there. You need to use all the discs in your bag. You need to have a good arsenal of shot selection. You need your backhand, your forehand, and you're gonna definitely need to throw an overhand or two before the day's over.
All right.
That sounds great.
HyzerCast road trip number 2.
There you go. So, Joanna, what's your favorite course?
This is tough. I think I might have 2.
You can't.
One
you
I
have
know-
to have one. No, just kidding. No, go ahead.
No, but I love Stafford Woods.
Yes.
I love Stafford.
course.
I love that it's close to where we live.
Mm-hmm.
I love the layout. I love the longs, the shorts. I think there are different shots that happen from the long tee pads and the short tee pads as well, which is exciting to me. Open woods, kind of what you said too, like similar criteria. My other favorite course I think is Warwick. I mean, talk about elevation. I I remember going up there when I first started playing and loving it, and I went up recently and I thought, oh my gosh, I've been playing on such flat courses that I have forgotten what it's like to deal with
Throw uphill.
crazy, yeah, and downhill too. Like
Right.
really, what do your discs do? And you have to know.
Mhm.
You just have to know, or it's going to go awry. And it's a great place. There are, for every hole, 2 tee pads, 2 baskets, so you can really have a full day or 2 full days there and not play the same layout twice.
Right.
And I think that is an amazing feature of a course that you could have to, start you out, warm you up a little bit, and then really test you if you go to the longest layouts.
Well, I think that some of the things you said are really interesting too. Both courses have alternate layouts under the same hole structure, but offer completely different lines because of where they chose. So good design work from the guys and folks up at Warwick and down at Stafford Woods, it seems like.
Yeah.
There was something I wanted to say about Warwick. First ace I ever got was at Warwick.
Oh,
Really?
that's awesome.
I didn't know that.
So I went to go play with a friend, and we got there early for a doubles, and we were going to get a round in.
Yeah.
We started on hole 1, and we were going to play,
Did you do short to short?
we were going to do silver to blue,
Okay.
and I teed off, and I went silver into silver's basket.
Oh.
And he goes, if this is your first ace, we'll finish out the round. Silver,
So
silver.
silver.
So it was
Prevent it from being a black
Right,
ace.
right.
That's awesome.
What about you, Dave? What are you thinking? What's your favorite course?
My favorite course is actually up in Massachusetts, western Massachusetts, near the Berkshires, Pioneer Valley, called Westy Acres. It's a private course. Someone actually just built it on their property, kind of their backyard, but they got doesn't even feel like you're near their house. Free to play. They ask for a donation if they want. They put it all back into the course. It's phenomenal. When I first started playing, there were baskets made with old rusty chains and tires, and over the course of like a year or so of me playing there, they upgraded all the baskets, got tee pads, and it's just an absolutely gorgeous course going from the woods over these beautiful creeks out into the open big woods under some cool power lines, which is kind of a weird thing to be like scenic, but it really is. And maybe the best part of this course is the owner has a dog that every day people out there playing comes out and follows a group and then goes to another group. And I don't know if the owner's trained this dog to do this or not, but if you throw your disc into the creek, it will go in and get it and bring it back to you automatically.
Wow.
Even if it's not even near you, it like hears it, it comes
Oh
running.
my gosh.
Wow.
And it happened to us. It was a pretty short hole, but very far downhill. I turned it over and it went into the creek, and Tucker was the name of the dog. Shout out to Tucker or
Yes.
Tucker's family, parents, if you're watching. Came out of nowhere, jumped in this creek, and this was a short creek. I couldn't have stood in it. It was narrow but deep. Jumped, dove down to the bottom, got it, swam out, gave me my disc. He dropped his toy that he was carrying. We actually went and got his toy because we were so thankful. And then he just went on his way. No fuss about it. Wasn't looking for nothing. That was just what
Wow.
he was doing every day.
Wow.
Great
See how-
life for a dog.
See how his favorite course ties into our earlier topic, like where paying into things will improve what's there.
Yeah.
Look at this private course that was there that had fish netting and some bicycle spoke wheels
that's
for
pretty much what it
basket
was.
setups, and eventually one at a time from people coming and making these little donations because they enjoyed the property and they felt like this is a great place to play golf. They turn it back into the property, provide good baskets. The course grows into something beautiful. Just so happens to be our very own HyzerCast, HyzerMedia's
That's
favorite
right.
course. I can't wait to go out there one day. You said
Yeah.
what's the course name?
Westy Acres,
Westy
Western
Acres.
Massachusetts.
Awesome.
Very cool. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll hit Maple Hill and then go over there.
There's a lot of golf
Yeah,
out there.
a lot of golf
A lot
out
of
there.
golf, for sure.
I'm excited about these trips.
Yeah,
We'll have to do some on-site coverage,
that's
right?
right. So that is going to wrap up our episode. We have real live tournament coverage that we produced is out now on HyzerMedia's YouTube channel. Go check that out. Subscribe to that channel. HyzerCast, if you haven't done so already, what are you doing? You're here watching. Just subscribe. It really helps us out. So subscribe to our channel. Comment down below any of your favorite courses, what your thoughts were on some of UDisc stats. We have an Instagram, follow that. And that was episode 5 of HyzerCast. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next fall.